I was just telling Christy, well, I don't have to tell Christy anything. I sent Christy a text message last night. And it was a series of words. I don't think I put it up on our Instagram,
We
but I
will put it
thought,
up today because I almost put it up yesterday and then I was like, we're going to talk about this on the podcast. It's going up.
I
I'm
had my glasses on.
going to
I
read this.
wasn't drunk, but
Just, I'm going to read this for people to understand because I get a text.
also it's 6 p.m. So I'm.
It's
still
5:26. 5:26
Okay,
Eastern time. I get a text message from Leah that says, "What does staple mean?" Like STAPLE. What does staple mean? And I'm like, and then she said, I just saw my first Broncos hate in a deli that she was at, but it had staple on it. And I'm looking at this text going, how do you see a Broncos hate? Did somebody graffiti like anger towards the Broncos in Charlotte? And then also it says staple.
Like getting frustrated because she's not answering me the way that I want her to answer, which is to tell me what it means.
So I said, I'm so confused. Something said staple, and this is where it gets really good. It's a hate, horse, Bronco, hat. Those are all separate messages. It's a hate. New message, horse. New message, Bronco. New message in all caps, hat. I'm like, they called a horse staple?
It's when I get frustrated, you could I'm like rapid fire because I wanted her to answer me fast.
And I knew, I was like, Leah's mad that I don't just immediately know this, but this makes no sense.
I was so excited that I'd seen a Broncos hat in Charlotte, which I have never seen one time in my life. I have not seen one, and I saw one, but it had the word staple underneath it, and I think the text is pretty clear.
Yeah, hate horse Bronco hat.
It's just like, it's a horse hat. Stuart was like, what are you talking about? I was like, the horse. I said, the Bronco. That horse. Apparently I just kept yelling the horse.
The horse. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, they're horses. They're horses.
It turns out it's a men's fashion brand that you can get any NFL team that hat or whatever that says staple on it, which I also was like, why would you want a Bronco hat?
So big. It looked like the logo.
It looks important. It looks like it should be associated, but no, you can get all of the teams with the word staple.
It had the horse head on it. So I knew it was y'all. The staple did throw me off, clearly. To the point where I just was like, and then I was going to stalk this guy when he came out of the bathroom, so hold on.
He didn't.
He didn't come out for a while, so. But yeah, I think, and then Stuart read it, and I was like, she's not understanding what I'm saying. And then he was like, Leah, nobody is understanding what you're saying. I think it's because Christy and I are so close that I just think if I say like words at her, like she does speak Leah very well.
I do translate well.
I'm a bad texter for multiple reasons. One is that I need glasses, of course, and if they're not there, I'm still going to text, but I text the wrong words. But also I text kind of fast. I'm fast. I don't typically have my phone on me all the time or ever. So I just text it really fast because I want the information to go to the person.
Yeah.
And then
it just gets worse.
Lost.
I mean, after hate horse Bronco hat.
The way it's now, Stuart immediately made fun of me about that.
It's going to be a new hashtag for us. I was like, they called a horse staple because now I'm thinking like, is the horse named Staple somehow? Because that's not what our horses' names are. You said under is the word staple on the hat. He is in the bathroom. I'll stalk him.
Then I looked right after that, and I had texted in another girls' chat that we're in. I had said, I'm the queen of the game mafia, and I never want to be a citizen. This is in reference to the Traitors TV show.
Yeah.
I said, I'm the queen of the game mafia, and I never want to be a citizen. I always want to be Maria. 50 minutes after that, when nobody responded to me, I said Mafia. And then I said, I'm taking my own phone away.
So, because I've never played Mafia,
I always want to be Maria.
I assumed that there was a character named Maria that I just didn't know about. I was like, I didn't know the characters had names.
They don't. They don't. It's like traitors. You're either a faithful or a traitor. You're either Mafia or a citizen, but I always want to be Maria, so it's
Maria. Hate horse Bronco hat.
Gosh. So yeah, I was so Christy that when my brain checks out, I have like two modes, which is like on or off. So if I'm on, then it's like I'm like on, I'm teaching, I'm writing, I'm doing. And then when it's off, I'm like the dumbest person that's ever lived.
It's funny because like you make fun of me and Stuart for being ADHD because we are never one mode, right? It's chaos swirls in our head. But like you, it's so drastic because you can be very on or you are like
I'm stupid.
Completely off.
Lobotomy.
And it's really, it can be kind of like whiplash. I don't know what's happening because most of the time you send,
I don't know if what you're about to say is true.
Legible texts where I can at least be like, there's a small typo or something. We all do that. Like we all have some kind of typo or something in our text message. But most of the time I can like, oh, that means that instead. you were just
she sent it to her friend, Jen.
I did. I sent it to my friend. Because she lives in Aurora, but I was like, did I miss something? Is there a new mascot called Staple?
That was my question. Because it was so large. It was bigger than the head of the horse. I was trying to say.
Really big.
And I was like, that was what I was trying to express there. And clearly.
Yeah. And I kept thinking, so there's also, there's a, I guess, suburb kind of city-ish thing next to Denver called Stapleton. And I kept thinking, like, is it to do with Stapleton? But, like, why would they just say staple? Like, that you go down these, like, rabbit holes of, like, trying to figure out.
I appreciate the time and energy that you spent trying to decipher what I was saying.
Yeah.
Because in the end, I was like, I gave it to Stuart, who was across from me, and said, I was trying to tell her about the hat. And he read it and he just cackled. He's not like a big, like, emotional expressor, but he just flashed me. He just was like, oh my gosh.
He's like, no one can discern what you're saying right now.
He was like,
the greatest.
I apparently just kept shouting, Christy usually knows what I'm saying. And then I tried to say,
I want to stress that it was 5:30. Y'all were not. This is not like a late night.
It wasn't a drunk text at all.
Drunk text. This was just.
We were on our way, but it wasn't. We weren't there yet. We had reached our destination.
So amazing. It was so funny.
I just kept trying to tell Stuart as well that I was like, no, Christy gets it because, she's really close to me and she understands. And I'm telling this to Stuart who didn't understand it at all. I said, no, she'll get it. She'll get it. He was like,
I did not get it.
I am your husband and I live with you. I have been your husband for longer than you've been friends with Christy.
Of the two of us, Stuart is definitely the one who would definitely know if it was knowable. I did figure it out.
I was like, well, clearly you don't get it, but you're a boy.
Because you're a boy. You're a boy and you don't know football.
Right. You don't understand any of this. Sports
you don't know anything about the NFL.
You don't know about horse hates.
Horse hates.
It's a horse. I like that I corrected horse with Bronco. Like, that's going to actually.
I know. That part too. I was like, I know the horse. That part I'm familiar.
I like that I thought that was the confusing bit.
I was confused about
that was what was really leading you down the wrong path.
Just could not sort out that horse part. Oh my god.
Well, so guys, in other news, we've been prepping for the snowpocalypse up here.
Just need you to know how long I sat here.
And then I reread it, by the way, because I just gave him a phone, like, look, I reread it, and then I started, like, hysterically laughing, because I was like, oh, it's not clear at all.
Oh my God, I just cried so much. Oh, okay.
Find
Yeah.
that hat.
Welcome to Theology on the Rocks.
Welcome to Theology on the Rocks, where we are as we say we are.
New name, 8-horse Bronco hat.
8 hours. Also, if you could have known the level of excitement, Christy always thinks I'm making fun of her sports teams, which sometimes I am, but if they're playing mine. But like this one wasn't. Stuart will tell you, I was thrilled. I was
Yeah.
trying to take a picture of it. I was so excited because you see my town, Charlotte, is overrun with people from Ohio and people from
Yeah.
upstate New York. So the
Yeah.
Bills, like mafia, is strong in
Yeah.
Charlotte. They are like everywhere.
Which
More
again, you telling me that you saw your first hate was so confusing because I was like, there are so many Bills fans there.
typically just like leave graffiti. Charlotte's not really a graffiti city that way. Like
Like,
I hate that horse.
so mad about Denver, I'm gonna
On the,
graffiti it in an unrelated city.
right on the side of a deli, no less. In case anybody happens, nobody is from Colorado here because it's basically southern Colorado. So why would they be here?
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, no, it's funny. Yeah, there's no real feelings towards the Broncos in any way, shape, or
No,
form. So I
yeah.
got so
I would,
excited and thrilled, and
and then it was
and then it was nothing. Confusion. And then the guy would not come out of the bathroom for me to take a picture. And then when he does come out, he's whatever situation happened in that bathroom, he's flipped the cap to the front. So he
oh,
had a
so,
he had a
so now you have to. He would know that you were taking a picture of his hat.
yeah.
Yeah. Which
A really complicated situation, Christy.
it's okay because before he came out of the bathroom, I solved the riddle
Yes.
by
Googled some words that came out of my brain.
Bronco staple hat. And then I was like, is this it?
It was just so big. It would be like if I
It
had a
is.
Braves hat and the A was up here, but then it just said staple.
I mean, I'm gonna say this real genuinely. It's the most confusing hat. I like staple is
It
bigger
was.
than the Bronco part, and it's like you're advertising something, but I don't know that you know what. But maybe we're just. I mean, we're just not up on menswear lines, apparently.
I suppose not. I suppose not. We have definitely gotten enough, said the word staple enough to where they should sponsor us.
They should sponsor us this
If
year.
they want
Oh
to.
my god.
But then I was telling Christy before we got on is like Christy and Stuart both have ADHD, but their personalities are typically like the same, like throughout life.
Yeah.
And I have a thing where like if something happens or like I'm not working or whatever, is like it is on or off like that. But I was telling Christy when my brain is off, I'm a very dumb person. I like lose the ability to do the most menial tasks, and I mean this. Like if you're talking to me and you're like, oh my god, she's joking about like boobs or something, it's a good sign because it means that I'm not church mode, you know. So, unfortunately, at that stage, because the snow is coming, I have decided to check out early.
Yeah, you were like,
And
it's
I
a
was gone.
snow day coming. I mean, how many inches are you actually predicted, or do they not know?
It's like that guy. I don't know if you saw him on my Instagram. He's like, I don't know. They just keep telling us they're like, well, it was supposed to start today, and now they're like, no, probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then it was supposed to be snow, and then it's now ice. But ice is worse for us because
Ice is worse for everybody. I hate ice.
yeah. So I don't even think it's going to be snow. I think it's going to be, if it's anything, I think it'll be ice. We just have all of our. I told Stuart because you would think Stuart being from Scotland would be like super prepped for like snow days, but actually it doesn't snow hardly at all
It
in
does not.
Scotland. Really, it's a weird weather
Well,
purgatory over there.
yeah,
So I just said we
it's
need to charge our clocks because the
yeah.
electricity is the big issue for us. Is if the electricity goes out, they do well. I shouldn't say that. I just said it anyway. Our energy providers are not always the quickest.
Yeah.
And you know, it just takes forever. So that's part of the issue is that so if I just quit texting you at all, I've either lost my phone.
I'll text Sharon. Did she die?
I love you're not even texting Stuart. You're texting my friend Sharon, which is also poor Stuart.
Dead
Sharon
Stu.
would know. Sharon would know. Be my last. I'd be like, come take care of the cats. We're out. Oh, and 0%. He'll just eat us though. He wouldn't think about it too much. But yeah, so this I don't know. It's basically the power is like I said the big issue.
The
But
power is
it's really
yeah.
annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're charging all of our power blocks right now.
Okay. That makes yeah. I mean, it's hot here. I'm not even bragging. It went from
It's
like
a brag to me. I like the heat.
kind of, it's a brag to you, but like it went from a kind of like mild week to like all of a sudden it's like 80. But I looked at the weather map and the like cold front just goes like this, like it's avoiding Florida on purpose. It's like, meh, like no Florida.
Like
So
a snowman that's going across, but it can't go there. It'll start melting.
yeah, it was like actively avoiding Florida. But then it's supposed to be in the 50s next week, which for Florida, people get real freaked out about. So next week, I'm sure I'll be like, everybody here is freezing. Not
And I wear flip flops to go get my snow
like
supplies.
no supplies.
Which, by the way, Stuart sent me, and I put a picture up. However, it should be known I was sent to go get supplies, and people in the South, it is a joke, but we are very bad at this part of the thing. If it's a hurricane, we act like we're still going out. We're going to concerts. We're living the dream. You could be in a building and the hurricane just take you away, and you'd still be listening to music. Now the snow, though, not so much. So everybody's buying stuff, and so I go and I look around and I grab a loaf of bread because there's like one left, and then we don't drink milk anyway, so that's dumb. We bought a big old thing of toilet paper, so we're good. So then I just start buying boxes of wine.
My
And
favorite thing is that you only have 2 things of soup.
Felt like the right thing to do. I don't know.
Like, apparently your snowstorm is lasting for a singular day.
How much faith I have that we're actually going to get snow.
Yeah.
And that it'll stick around. Again, keep in mind, it was 50 that day. It was actually 54, I think, was what temperature it was, or something, because I screenshotted it and sent it to y'all. And so it's not cold enough here.
It's not cold enough. Yeah.
Maybe in the mountains, or like my mom, by the way, who lives on Lookout Mountain in Appalachia, parts of foothills of Appalachia. She was like, "Oh, they're in the ABC's in Charlotte," and I was like, "I think y'all are going to get it much worse than I." I can walk down the street to a 7-Eleven.
This is like when I was in Asheville for New Year, and it was in the 30s, and I was like, I did not expect this, and nor did anyone else, because when I went to buy the coat I had to purchase, I was not the first one. She immediately was like, "You're going to wear this out, right? Do you want me to cut the tags off?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am."
Well, there are like I got a big long story when I was in Europe for a friend's wedding. I got stranded. Anyway, I left my jacket. Is the summary of the story. I love this jacket, but it's in Edinburgh, Scotland right now. And my friend Ellen was like, "Do you want me to ship it to you?" And I was like, "No, I'll just get it the next time." And that is our approach to coats. It is. I'm just like, well, and do I know the next time I'm going to Scotland? No.
But you'll need it there.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'll have it. I don't have to pack it. I already have one.
Right. I was like, regardless of what time of year it is, you'll need it there. So might as well just leave it. This is why I leave my winter coats in Colorado, which is part of why I didn't have one for Asheville. But I'm like, I don't need them here. But
mountains do get colder. I mean, the foothills. Christy was making fun of our mountains the other day. Nothing she can say. We make fun of ourselves far worse than anything she can say. Do I think that our mountains are the Rockies? No, clearly not. But the elevation says that it's higher. So
it is higher than where you live. Yes. Yeah. That's fine.
I don't live in the mountains.
No. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. It is higher.
It was
Yeah.
mocking us relentless. Listeners in North Carolina. It was relentless.
One of the
Terrible.
first things when I walked into the hotel room, my friend Jamie, who's also from Colorado, had flown out for this. She goes, Christy, do you know that they think this is a mountain town? And then the two of us just burst into laughter for another like 5 minutes. And it was a great moment. It was a great moment.
Real condescending and rude. And we do think it's a mountain town. I think I consider anything a mountain town that has like places with fireplaces. That's where my mountain town goes. Also, I have
It's
seen.
sweet. It's sweet. It's real cute.
It is super cute. Like I said, we
I had a
know the
great time.
Rockies exist, but like they don't exist down here.
They
So
don't know.
this
Fine.
is what we've got.
It's
What
okay. Your mountains are
what
haunted.
should
So
we call it? Should we call it hills? Do you want me
yeah.
to call it a hill town?
I don't know. They need another word. They need a word that's in between.
A
Like
mound town? That sounds
mound. Yeah,
sexual.
that sounds sexual. Yeah, it sounds weird. I don't know.
I
We're
kind
gonna
of
come.
like the mound town.
It's a mound town. It does feel like we're saying mountain with like a really terrible accent.
Mound town. It does
Mound.
take like an hour to get up to my parents' house, so they maybe are more on a larger mound than perhaps you were at in Nashville.
I will say I have been to parts like Gatlinburg is more mountainy than Asheville was.
I wouldn't say
So
Asheville's actually a mountain town. I wouldn't call
Asheville
it
was like barely mountain. Like it was barely, and I was a bit disappointed because when we went to Gatlinburg a few years ago, I was like, oh,
that.
these are really pretty. Like they are smaller, but they're really pretty, and like they
Yeah.
do look like mountains. And then when I got to Asheville, I was like, this is a hill.
Yeah. It's cool. I'm like,
Not a
to get
mountain.
from Chattanooga to my parents' house is an hour. So like it'll take you an hour to go up the mountain.
Hmm.
And
That's reasonable. Yeah.
and it's twisty turvy, whatever. Like again, not as hot. We're not. I think ours are older.
They are older. That's why they're smaller.
Okay. I was really oldest child.
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't know if that was real or not, and I'm glad
It is
that it
real. It is real, but yeah, no, but it's why they're smaller.
Yeah, I'm fine
Yeah.
with it because I can't do any of this. All of this situation is too
Snow.
much.
So
No,
Leah said to me when we were like talking about what we were going to drink and stuff, I was like, what do you want to do for? And she said, let's do our go-to snow drink.
Yeah.
Which I'm curious what your go-to snow drink is.
Wine?
Is it just wine?
Yeah. Did you see my purchase? That's what I have. I have 2 boxes of wine because I couldn't figure out if I wanted white or red. And then 2 soups and a
2
loaf
soups.
of bread and a Red Bull pack.
Really terrible snow prep.
That is what's going to keep me alive. Well, it's different when you live in the city. I could just walk down. Said deli is walkable. Christy and I walked there.
No, it's true. But you remember Snowpocalypse in Glasgow? You were still there, yeah? Because when Snowpocalypse hit Glasgow, and I mean that is also a city, and I could walk to the grocery store. But the grocery store had nothing. Yeah, they had no bread. The only milk they had was Jersey milk, which is just heavy cream.
I did buy milk the other day, and Stuart was like, well, we have milk. And then we looked at it, and it was buttermilk. I'd actually accidentally bought buttermilk. We can make biscuits, maybe.
That's fantastic.
That's why you don't send me to the grocery. Christy, you've been shopping with me. Don't do that. First of all, I get really bored really fast at the grocery store. I'm not one of those people. I don't like cooking. It's not my thing. So I just want it to be over really fast.
Yeah.
Which means I just grab stuff, and I don't really like look at it.
I'm the same way. I get panic attacks in grocery stores. And so I try to get in and out as quickly as possible. But I'll like go in and I'll just like grab 3 things. Never the things on my list. Never useful. It's just like whatever's closest. And then I leave and I get in my car and I like realize that I've done nothing productive and I still need food. So
also today I woke up and I wanted the soup that I had bought. And Stuart was like, you've got to wait.
You have to wait because you only bought the one.
You brought us 1 each. Like, why did I get more than 1? I don't know. So I was like really desperate to eat it, and then I just got sad. So, and meanwhile, it's still. I mean, right now it's we're just like waiting for supposed impending doom, and it's 50 outside. So
It's gonna be terrible for you. I'm sure.
we're gonna really struggle. We're gonna
Yeah.
be eating those soups for days.
Ration them out, yeah.
I know. Not and that the assumption being that we don't have 4,000 other things in our refrigerator right now too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well,
We lose our minds, but it's kind of fun. So like if you listen to the podcast, me, Will, Rose, Trent Fuller, we're all in North Carolina, so we're all probably gonna die. And then
I'm more worried about
the systematic geekologists live in South Carolina, so they're probably also gonna die. So your podcast team is gonna be looking pretty sparse.
It's gonna be me.
It's gonna be Christy and oh yeah, Ryan and
Ryan
Nick.
Doe's
They're in
is
the mid
a good
mid
Midwestern boy, so he knows how to handle snow. He'll be fine.
So, but you, Nick, and Ryan Dose will be Nick Polk. So you'll just be talking about Tolkien and theology and
Oh, no.
horror movies. What a combo of podcasts.
Like I have no input on any of this.
The rest of us will just be
It's gonna be bleak, guys.
sailed off to Valhalla on a frozen ship. Yeah, I mean, and then a lot of people live in California. You could hook up with some of the California.
Yeah.
Sarah and Siri, I think, are out.
I'll do that. I'll reach out to the California.
No offense, Nick and Ryan, but Josh Patterson is in Baltimore, but I don't even know if it's supposed to get hit. Do we know?
I didn't look. I'm sorry, Josh.
Christy, you should hear about your friends, weather.com.
You didn't know either.
I sure didn't. Oh no! Dang, it's actually a really.
I mean, it's a considerable
amount. Yeah, it's like
just not here.
Well, Christy, you live in Florida.
I know.
Yeah, it just totally avoids South Georgia and Florida. That's like putting it on.
Like we can't handle that shit.
We've moved now to purple instead of a very, very dark, scary blue.
That's nice.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So we'll be stranded, and no electricity. We don't get to even play in the snow. We just hang out. Anyway, so we're drinking our drinks. So I have wine. Chris,
you have wine.
What do you have?
I have an old fashioned.
That feels like a very appropriate drink for a snow in that you don't have.
I was like, I mean, it snows in Colorado. Obviously, it snows in Colorado like frequently, but we get like a big blizzard.
Where you're from?
Like once a year. And I was like, what would I drink during a big blizzard? Mm-hmm. And most of the time I get really antsy when it's a real big blizzard and I end up trekking to somewhere. And so I was like, the only open bars would have old fashions. So that's what I went with. I inherited my dad's like inability, like whenever it snows a ton, my dad has to leave the house and go like drive around. And I inherited that. So whenever it would blizzard, I'd be like, we have to go somewhere. And everyone was like, Chrissy, it's blizzard, everything is closed. And I'd be like, no, we have to leave the house. We have to do things. I need to see the world. I get really adventurous when it's a big snow. So
we do that during, like I said, the hurricanes when Florence was supposed to kill everybody. I was at a taco place down the road. I just walked to a taco and all the lights went out. And it was quite bad, to be fair. It was not a great, I wouldn't recommend this to anybody, but the lights went out. And so they had candles up in this taco place and the like pulley, the beer stuff wasn't working. So I just got real liquored up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't recommend
going in a hurricane
during a blizzard either. It's not great.
Yeah, no, don't. We don't recommend it. Stay at home.
That's what I do. Anyway,
I just never think it's gonna. My issue is that I never think anything is gonna be as bad as it actually is. Like I sort of lean into that. Like I never think like we're pretty trained on like tornadoes and hurricanes down here, and I never like when they say a hurricane. I am actually scared of tornadoes. Tornadoes are scary.
Yeah.
Hurricanes though, it's just like gosh, you'll know like 2 weeks ahead of time if they even think one's going to be coming towards you. And it just is like this incredible dramatic. I wonder how much meteorologists get paid to make things sound really dramatic. I want to get paid to go on to be a counter to the meteorologists, so I can just
The
talk like
meteorologist here is very level-headed. He's very like, he doesn't do the drama stuff. His name is Dennis Phillips. I'm shouting him out because he's great. He's very level-headed about weather. He's super helpful with the hurricanes. Like he does a really good job of not being like the ones who are crazy. My friend Matthew Kruger was a weatherman for many years, and he also was very level-headed about stuff. But it was Colorado, so it was.
Are hurricanes sort of like being stalked by Jason? Like you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
gotta
You're just
not.
so stressed. You're just like, my house may or may not be here in a.
Oh, I was saying he's very slow moving. So as long as you
No,
just
but
keep
it's like
up,
you have
just
like a
don't
week
stop.
to be like,
Yeah,
maybe I need to worry, maybe I don't. I don't know. Yeah, slow and it's
just keep moving
stressful.
forward, and you'll be fine. And then I don't know. I think like tornadoes are like Friday. They just show up and start stabbing you, and you're like, "Oh God, where did you come from?" Because you've fallen asleep.
Yep.
Um. So anyway, today we thought we would talk about snow. Just kidding. Today we thought
I was like,
that would be
now
really funny
we
if we
do have a
did a
topic. If you,
natural disaster conversation. Where is God in the midst of ice storms? Which is a theological question.
it's not the
It's
one
not
we're
the
in.
one we will. It's not the one we'll be tackling. So we've had a lot of stuff going on. We are. It's interesting because I did a conference after George Floyd called TheoCon. Actually, it was Sarah Lane Ritchie and Trip Fuller put it on a beer camp fame. And I remember there was riots in Charlotte, so there was like helicopter circling the whole time I was doing, because it was of course online, because that's where we were at that stage. And it was just the whole time I was like, I'm sorry, there's like riots happening. And so now I feel like we're doing this in the midst of Renee Good being murdered by ICE, and it just felt like the time to talk about resistance and what it means to theologically resist, and if there's even a way to do that. I had a professor, a New Testament professor, Tom Slater, who wrote a book called, I need to get the actual title, but it was about he's a Revelation scholar,
Mhm.
and I'm about to yell at Stuart to turn the TV down. Stuart.
I can't hear it.
Okay. Resistance.
Stuart.
Stuart. Revelation is civil disobedience. This is what marriage is like, guys. If you want to know, you're about to hear it. Stuart, can you turn the TV down? I'm podcasting.
Phenomenal. That was
And
phenomenal.
that's what you say instead of "I love you." You say, "Can you turn the TV down? I'm podcasting." That's how you know you're 43. So, Revelation as civil disobedience is the name of the book, and he talked about this idea that people thought Revelation is this really intense, violent book, essentially, of the Bible, but actually that it has a very specific way that it's telling Christians to resist, and that violence is not actually a part of it, which I think is a very interesting take. But I will say it's also hard in the midst of watching all of this, to feel as though passive resistance is the way.
Yeah. Well,
I have a temper, and clearly, and it just makes me mad.
I do feel like there have to be multiple strains of resistance. Resistance can't always look exactly the same in every moment. Like in certain times, certain types of resistance are going to be more effective than other types of resistance. And certainly I think that like being cognizant that we should not like default to violence is important. I mean, this is what Jesus taught us, turn the other cheek and all that. But simultaneously, like, you can't say that that means that we don't like do anything, or that it's just simple kind of, sitting and letting violence be enacted upon other people. So like how do we define what all of that looks like, I think is an important thing to think about with resistance. Like, if I see, like I have been, I don't know how if you've seen, but the pictures of the little 5-year-old Liam Ramos who was kidnapped and used as bait. And like, you know how sometimes images just kind of like stick into you. And like, obviously, so much that ICE is doing, especially in Minnesota right now, is horrific. But like, that little boy's face with that little bunny hat he has on,
Oh my God.
I just feel so like, I don't even have words. The rage that
Yeah.
someone could steal that little boy and use him and to treat him like that is just so evil, you know? And so like, yeah, I also want to enact violence on those people, and I don't necessarily think like this, I'm not going to like lean into that, but you know, how do we recognize what mode of resistance is appropriate in what moment?
And it almost feels as though you liked this post as well. I saw that you liked it. I'm not surprised because I also liked it. But it was this idea of like people keep saying America's turned into Nazi Germany, but in fact it's just kind of always been this way. It just
Yeah.
hasn't been so publicly on the news, and where it didn't affect the community that we are a part of.
Yeah.
Um, and I think for me, it is one of those things where people are like, well, the Christian thing is to do this sort of, we just celebrated Martin Luther King Day, and this idea of, not passive resistance, but resistance, non-violent resistance. And it does get to a point sometimes where you feel as though, while in my brain, I think that is correct, it is like, yeah, but if we do that, then is that really going to do anything?
Yeah. I
Like,
will.
you're
I
gonna
mean,
help that little boy. Like, I don't know that it is. I think
and like, I'm gonna tell you right now that if that little boy had been near me and somebody tried to take him, like I would probably have done something. You know, like I mean, not that nobody. I know that the people who were there at the time tried to do things. I'm not trying to like disparage what happened, but like to hit somebody or to punch a Nazi feels like the right thing to do. You know. Um, I also think too, like when you're studying, and it's been a minute since I really looked into the specifics of it, but studying like King's nonviolence it wasn't the kind of just sit and let them beat you nonviolence that we tend to think of it. You know, it was to place your body in a position to enact power in certain ways. You know, like sitting um the women who sat on the bus, both Rosa Parks and the one before her, whose name
yeah.
I at the
The
moment.
first sit-in at a counter happened in Greensboro, North
To sit in
Carolina.
a counter, like that's not it's not a violent protest, but it is placing your body in a place where you know violence is probably going to happen to you and you're accepting some of that. But it's also in order to protect that violence from happening to other people, you know, and to say like I am going to participate in a physical protest, you know, like this is not tweeting or like yelling on Facebook or whatever. This is a physical active protest that I'm participating in. I think we have to be like aware of what is appropriate, you know, what situations call for what kinds of protests, what kinds of resistance,
Yeah,
and
I'm
what
I
kind, yeah.
so I wrote my dissertation on peace building as well, and resistance in a way. Um but my sort of contribution to knowledge was I did this little chart that said, you can't have it was like a four bubbles, so it was forgiveness and repentance and truth and justice, and the idea was is that you needed all of those to happen in order to have reconciliation. And so, one of the things that I argue in that book, but also in my dissertation, is that in Northern Ireland they kept asking people to just repent and forgive, and that became equated to reconciliation as opposed to demanding justice
Yeah.
and demanding truth, which
Yep.
was more uncomfortable. And so I think, to me, I think about that as a guide, in the sense of, in what ways are we not violent, but in what ways are we demanding justice?
Yep.
And when I see that little boy, I'm like, and also all of that too, but I'm also like, what have we become, that we become desensitized to seeing that little kid in a bunny hat and we're just like, and people are like, "Well, just leave. Like, you're married to a Scotsman. Leave." I mean, that's fine, but if you leave things, this is why I stayed in the church even when I was really hurt by it, is because you can't change things if you leave,
Yeah.
and you can wish all that you want that and the numbers or whatever that mainline Protestantism is going downhill, and I've seen all this stuff about the nuns and people who are not religious anymore, and all that's fine, but I took up this sort of arms, if you will, to be within the church and to be a good force within that. And so I think it does feel desperate in this situation of how can we be a good force in the midst of such corruption? Like I don't. And where have we gone? Because it just feels like we're gaining people more than I think, and we're just not being very loud about it. I don't know. Like it's just.
I do feel like if you look at the numbers and the people who post all of the statistics about polls and stuff like that, the amount of Americans who are against what's happening is greater than the number that are okay with it. And the number of Americans who are upset about, a variety of the things going on right now, wanting the Epstein files to be released or wanting us to not invade Greenland, which
Oh my
thank
gosh.
God seems to have been quelled by
Somebody put a shiny thing in front of his face, and he
dear God,
forgot
like
about
one of the European
Greenland
leaders.
or Iceland. We don't know which one it is because now he can't remember if it's Greenland or Iceland either.
Iceland, Greenland, who knows? But like there's just it just feels like there's been thing after thing. And the majority of the country is upset about this. It's just what do we do and how do we know what to do and how do we kind of um, do it in ways that is productive instead of again like I think some amount of social media. Obviously, I learn a lot of things from social media, and I think that it's helpful to have those aspects. And so I'm grateful. But like me yelling at my, 200 friends on Instagram is going to do very little.
Oh, 100. 100.
So like, what is it that I do instead? And there are things that we are all capable of doing in the place that we're in, and with the specific tools that we have. It does mean we have to stop being comfortable all the time. Like some of this is really uncomfortable. But like I think that there's also stuff that's so much simpler than we think that the only thing you can do is to go like fly to Minnesota and be part of the protests, right? And like that's the thing that we have to do. And if we're not doing that, we're not doing anything. And I don't think that it's that intense all of the time. I think there's a lot of stuff we have to do in our community. One of the things that's been really kind of pressed upon me, I guess, like in the evangelical language, been on my heart.
Oh, has it
Like
warmed your heart though? Are you Wesleyan as
my
well?
heart
Your
has
heart
been
was strangely warmed.
strangely warmed by just thinking about the fact that community is so essential, and not just community in like easy ways. Like it's very easy for us to hang out with the like three people we always hang out with or whatever, like,
Mm.
but like building communities in your neighborhood, getting to know your neighbors, looking out for your neighbors, like right now, especially. I mean, you went through this recently with ICE being in Charlotte.
Coming back. Apparently, word on the street.
I know that they're here in Central Florida at the moment, and so there's a lot like having whistles or having a plan in your head. I tell my students this a lot. Like, if you just expect that in the big moments you're just going to suddenly show up, you're not going to. Like, you have to practice showing up in little things, and so like making plans or doing little things, making sure that you're ready and that you've become a person who's gonna show up, you know?
And to know your rights, but also know that much like, Renee
Much like Renee.
is
Yeah,
that your rights may not be respected because while you know your rights, these people may not because they're not trained professionals in the way that we
you're
would
not.
hope people who protect are.
Yeah,
Um, and so you have to be aware of that too. The very strong word on the street is they're coming to Charlotte again, and I worry for my friends and family. Like I really do because
I do too. Yeah, I have.
I don't. People are mad This is a very blue city. It's why they're coming back. And people are pissed off about this whole thing. And it was bad here before, but like people are really, really mad now. And I'm concerned because anger doesn't always instill um, good responses, even if they seem good at the time. Because
Yeah.
that's the other thing is you got to know your, I'll say it, know your enemy, and
Yeah.
you got to know what they're doing. And,
Absolutely.
does the thing that happened with good is really trying to scare people. I don't think any of this is Christian. Of this is even stealing kids is not Christian. None
No.
of this is that. And so while they may try to clothe it in this language, that is not what's happening here. And so I think if you feel called to, to resist in that way, you have to be careful. Like I think it would be amiss if we didn't
Yeah.
say
I mean, I
brave
think
but careful.
be aware. There's a lot of information out there about things to do and ways to stay safe in situations and things, and like be thoughtful, be aware, be careful. I want to read a tweet that I saw, not a tweet because that doesn't exist anymore. It's on Blue Sky.
Sure it does.
Uh,
In my heart. In my heart, Christy, it still exists.
I don't know. It's a Blue Sky tweet.
Oh, okay. It's a sky. A sky note.
It's a
Sky
Sky
note and
note. I don't know what
yep.
the actual, yeah. Um, it's this woman I follow, Shaylee Patel. She's also an academic, and she said, and this was ages ago. I took a screenshot of this ages ago because I was really like, again, I thought that it was really good. She says, just want to say again that empathy is resistance. It requires bracketing everything this world has taught us to value, hierarchies of wealth, status, power, etc., and meeting others as humans first. This is why it's also a practice, not an attribute. You can train yourself to bracket thusly. And I was like, this is exactly it, is because like if you have empathy, which you develop, you don't just naturally have empathy. Like we have natural empathy in some respects, but we don't have natural empathy for people we don't know or for people who we've never encountered. Like that's not how our kind of instincts work. But you can develop it, and we should be practicing that development of it and then act out of that, like
Yeah.
behave out of the empathy that you have. So again, it doesn't mean trying to center yourself and be like, I'm going to go save the world because I'm a white person, and I can
Been there,
stay
done that.
whatever, or it also doesn't mean like putting yourself in stupid situations. Like,
Yeah, and I think too, seeing people like you can feel a certain way about ICE and the people who are doing this. Like I personally think that they are, I don't know that I would say evil because I'm not sure that that is what I feel. I think that they are incredibly ill informed and not well understanding. I think what they think they're doing is not what they're doing, and as a result, it makes them act in ways that are what could be seen as evil. And I actually do agree with that. I think the actions are evil. I'm
yeah,
not
actually,
sure.
for sure. Yeah.
100%. Like the shooting and the kidnapping and the all of that is evil actions. But I'm not sure about the humans themselves. But I do think that part of the civil rights movement that I think was so effective is that, King was able to talk to people. And I think that I'm not saying that you have to like these people. I don't like them right now at all. Hate is a word. hate Bronco horse
Hey,
hat.
Bronco horse hat. Uh,
But I think that you can do that. But I think you can also, and I'm not saying try to talk to them because we've seen what that does as well. But, they already feel as though everyone is against them and is angry at them, which I would say people are if they have eyes and brains. You know, how you respond if confronted with these people is kind of what you're saying, Christy, is that you can be prepared. You can do things and you can know what your rights are, and you don't have to necessarily scream like I hate you at them because they already think that. So,
yeah.
if in some ways you can surprise them but still resist, I think that is a real key. And I'm like I said, I'm not sure. I've not been confronted with this yet. I say yet. But I would want
I
to
mean,
be like, what are you doing?
I absolutely think, yeah, like I think that we talked about this at beer camp with our humor panel. There's ridicule protest, which I think has
Yes.
been continuously effective. Uh, our friend Bren sent us that video of the woman who was singing like, "Oh, you're a big man," oh, and he was just like becoming enraged.
That's what
But
I mean about surprising people. Like,
yeah,
don't
like
do what you think.
making fun of them is appropriate, though dangerous. That is a
Mm,
dangerous thing to do. That's the other thing I will say is like a lot of these things are very dangerous because they are violent people
yeah,
that we're
Good's
dealing with.
wife was sort of mocking the guy before she got shot, and it seemed,
It seems like he
well,
shot her because he was being made fun of by a woman.
he was mad. Yeah,
Yeah. And
exactly.
and and especially I think women are very very aware of this. We know not to make fun of men. Like I don't know how many times I have pretended that I thought a guy was funny or
Oh,
normal just so I could get away from him,
100%.
because I knew that the alternative was more dangerous. So like it's it's those kinds of things where we have to weigh, what stuff am I willing and capable of doing? What's the best situation or what's the best action in this situation? And being thoughtful about to like, yeah, what is it that I can do that can be backed by my rights? We do still have them.
We
They do
do.
still legally exist. And for the time being, I think it's important for us to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Like
And it's hard though,
being
because all this advice for giving is not what you do in a split moment, though.
No,
Like it's.
you have, well, and like I said, you have to kind of have a game plan in your head. Like,
Mm,
because what am I going to do in that moment? Probably not the right thing.
mm. Oh,
Like,
same, same. I'm
my
just, yeah.
thing's
Don't
not,
get mad. Sure, Leah. You get mad. You just yelled at Stuart to turn the TV down. Like, what do you mean? Of course, I'm gonna get mad.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna get mad. I don't know. But like,
We can hope
also,
for a world that is not this one. And I wake up each day, and it's not being like passive or saying that I'm not engaged. It's just saying I really, because what else do we have at this stage? I mean, we have to hope for a different world because this one is
well,
so corrupt.
we have to actively hope for it. Like actively
Yeah.
hope and actively work with that hope because
Mhm.
like I said, I do actually believe genuinely that more people, and again, this isn't just because I've seen the statistics. I keep thinking of Schmidt when I say statistics. Are you the criminals from the statistics?
New girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I want to see.
Like it's not just that I've seen those things. It's also that like I mean, I know people, like I know deep down that people also see that tiny boy with that tiny bunny hat on and recognize what is wrong about this. But like you have to be able to lean into your empathy and say like this is wrong and I don't care about the price of eggs anymore or
It's not even helping, so it doesn't matter.
it's not even helping. It doesn't matter. Your eggs are still expensive. But like recognizing that we have to take action. Like look at any book you've read about something happening, Hunger Games, I don't know, Harry Potter, like any books. I'm just listing young adult books at this stage, but like
Divergent. Divergent.
diverge. What actually happens is that people stand up against this stuff, and people say like, I'm willing to say that this is wrong and to behave in ways that fight against becoming negative or cynical or anything. Like there's
It's
something
getting
better.
increasingly hard to justify what's happening with
Yeah.
that end. Yeah.
Yeah. And like go, I mean, also, and this is not necessarily just to plug our banned books club, but this is also a really important thing to do. It's like read books. They can be not banned if you're weird, but like books, books are like known to help you understand, build empathy, all of that. Like fiction books are helpful and also in helping you think about like, what would I do in these situations?
I
How
just
am I?
read Catcher in the Rye, and Holden Caulfield would definitely be an ice.
Holden Caulfield would for sure be an ice.
For
Like,
sure be an
don't be
ice.
Holden Caulfield. That's
I'm not
another.
sure that I've ever felt anything so strongly as that he would be an ice member.
We read, yeah, Catcher in the Rye was our last book, and I do remember a moment when I thought, oh, so incels have been around for a while.
Yeah,
Because
a whole book about a guy
everybody's
being
a
really
pony.
bad for a really long amount of time.
Had about everything. But like, even in that, it's like you can read through that and be like, well, I don't want to be this kid. I don't want to
Mm,
be this way. I don't want to be angry at everything in the world. I don't want to hate tiny little boys in bunny hats. Like,
that's so depressing.
I don't want to hate that old man who got pulled out of his house with no clothes. Like, you know, uh,
And
there's
to know
just,
that they want you to be scared. Like they
yeah,
want that's how power is kept through fear. We see that in these dystopian books. I was just on systematic geekology last night with Christian, and we were talking about this show called Fallout, which I hadn't seen. Um, but it's very much about this sort of resistance and how you need, we tied it to theology in a way, which is you need kind of a group of people, or at least a couple people to, you know, to continuously sort of like, not continuously, but to like build you up and to
yeah,
like Jesus and the 12 and all of that. Like you need a band of folks. And there is power in numbers, I will
yeah.
say. I mean, there is that. So if you do decide to go out and do something, I would suggest bringing your merry band of resistors with you.
I also want to say on that note that we are not reinventing the wheel here. Like there are loads and loads of people who've been doing this for a long time. Because, like you mentioned before, this isn't new. This isn't. I mean, none of this is new. I saw a video that said that we shouldn't compare ICE to the Gestapo because we should be comparing them to the slave catchers. Um,
Mm.
and it was, this is accurate. It is very much like what happened with the people who went out to try to catch the escaped enslaved people. So like we aren't the first ones to do this or to talk about this, and so there are plenty of ways to find out, and there are plenty of groups to join. You don't have to like start a group. There's already one in your community. um, there are already people doing this, and they know more, and they're experienced, and they've got support. And so like go find them, go join that. Go read resistance specific theologies, like the one you mentioned,
Tom Slater.
Tom Snyder, and or Kelly Brown Douglas has several books about this. You can read
A lot of
MLK.
black theologians and womanist theologians. This is
This is
and feminist theologians and queer theologians. That group, I would say, is a group to read for sure.
Liberation theology has a ton of stuff out there, and they're very specific about what you should and shouldn't do, like how to survive, how to get through it, and like also how to not burn out. Because I know a lot of activists who have burned out really quickly because they thought any kind of joy was inappropriate, and that
Mm.
24/7 you just have to be mad. And I was like, that's wrong. So find the joy and experience those things too.
Turning off your brain, as Leah did when she texted Christy, is not always a bad thing. It is
Not a
a
big bad thing.
coping mechanism for
Yeah.
the overwhelmingness of the other job.
I mean, honestly, rest is important, like rest
If you have
is,
the luxury of these things, do them because you're fighting for those who do not. And
yeah,
I think that is um, really important. And also, I do think, like, have people around you that are grounded and that can lift you up when you're feeling down. And also, because you'll need that. Like,
yeah.
this is going to be a journey. This is not a shortcut. Like, it's gonna I want all of this to be fixed by the midterms, but like I think this is something we're going to be working at for quite some time.
I mean, honestly, like way past the like actual lifespan of certain orange people, like it, because
Yeah.
that's just a tiny part of this. This is a much deeper, long-standing problem that we have in this country. So like, it's gonna be years, but it's still gonna get better. I really believe that it's gonna get better.
Gotta live in hope, I think.
Yeah,
But also, it's not just hope that things will get better. It's hope that this is my hope, is that humans are watching this and that they're being affected. And if they're not, then I'm not sure what I can say anymore about humans.
Yeah. I mean,
I might go buy that lighthouse out in Scotland if they don't. But
I do think that humanity is better than the dredges of it. Like there's, as a whole, we just need to remember that, like, loving your neighbor, caring for your neighbor, like Jesus said, whatever you do to the least of these, you do to me. Like, do that. Behave towards people like you would behave towards Jesus.
yep. And know that there might be consequences. I mean, if we take the life of Jesus, Jesus flipped tables. Jesus also talked to people that were considered not very nice. And I think both are appropriate in certain circumstances, but also know that sadly, this life that we live in, unfortunately, is not meant for these revolutionaries. I mean, and it's not saying that you are one of those. It's just saying that what you're doing is counter to a lot of stuff that is going on right now. And
Yeah.
that is why it's called resistance. I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris and I will be out there fighting the good fight in the ways that we can.
Yep. Yep. As we
And we will persevere. We will get through this.
we
I
will.
believe that.
I do too. I have genuine hope and love. And I see things that make me feel hopeful. I see things that make me feel like, okay, there's a step, you know. Um, so look for those things. Mr. Rogers, look for the helpers, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Look for
And
the joy.
also take a time out and write your
Yep.
friend a real weird text or listen to the format, because Christy, if you guys haven't heard, they have an album out
They have a new
apparently.
album out today. Happy Format Album Day. It's the first album in 20 years. This is the thing. Like I did not have hope anymore that I would get more format music. And yet I did.
Yeah, here we are, just blessed and highly favored.
Blessed and highly favored.
There's one person that supports the Broncos in Charlotte. She is
So one
living.
person with his staple hat,
She's living that dream.
your besties just by.
Whilst I do rag Christy endlessly, if she had been able to see my face when I saw that Broncos hat and the joy that it brought to me,
Oh, I'm sure. I believe you. I believe you. I
and the,
believe.
and the haste to which I texted you about said hate,
Hate hat. Broncos.
of course.
Lord, it was so funny. It
Yeah.
was just the highlight of my night, honestly. I was dying laughing.
We read it, and I was like, oh yeah, that sucked.
It was so good. But you know what? I mean, we're here. We'll be here.
Come join our book group. It'll be fun. We have I almost felt like it was like a therapy session,
Yeah.
even though that book was dire.
That book is done. Like, honestly, and this is what I was saying earlier about community. Like, I know that it's like we're reading these books and we're taking time out of our schedules and stuff. And like, occasionally I'll be like, oh crap, I've got to read the book real quick. But every time I walk away from book group, I walk away with just this like renewed, like, it's a boost. It's such a boost to be in that group.
Stuart and I feel that way too.
Yeah. Like it really is great. So
we're reading Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye.
For February. I haven't either. I don't think any of us have, so it'll be a new one for us again. It'll be so fun to read about insects. Super excited about it. No, it'll be so good.
Fun is the right words, but it'll be insightful. So far, I'm not sure in our band book group that we have read a fun book necessarily.
No, not a one of them. Not a one of them. You know what I thought?
Pressure in the Rye is not a fun book.
The closest to fun I think that we read was
All Boys Aren't Blue.
Yes, thank you. I was like the blue boy one. All Boys Aren't Blue. Yeah. I thought that was the closest one. And you know what? Talk about a book that gives you hope.
There you go. That's what. Yeah, like that one was hopeful. It was rough, but
book. It
So
was rough,
hopeful.
but it was so hopeful, and I really appreciate that. So yeah.
But even if you do, and this is maybe a thing too, if you do read these dystopian novels, like, you know, whether it's Hunger Games, whether it's Divergent or whatever, or fill in the blank, Handmaid's Tale. Even Handmaid's Tale, if you remember Atwood's original novel, you know, it ends on a note that is ambiguous but could be seen as hopeful.
Well,
And
it ends telling you that it ended. Gilead was done. Like
the postscript, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying the end of
yeah. No, but
yeah,
like the
yeah.
postscript, it
They're
is
teaching it in they're teaching it in history. Yeah,
they're clearly saying like this is like we're learning from the past, you know. I think that's something that we need to be good at. We need to get better at is learning from our
yeah,
past. Really looking at it, looking at what happened, understanding what caused people to feel those ways and what caused stuff to get bad because we need to know what caused this too. I mean, we kind of do, but
and also I'm in my new book. I'm starting to look at the UK and to know that we're not alone
we're
in not a
not.
good way. But that being said, what does that say about the human tendencies? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. But
There's always resistors. Be Katniss in a
be
world
Katniss.
knows. Be a Katniss.
Be a Katniss. Yep. Be a Billy Joe Armstrong.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
I can't wait
I
for the Super Bowl.
cannot
All right.
wait for the Super Bowl
Just gonna be
for those horses.
for those horses.
All right,
All right.
guys, we almost made it the whole time and didn't talk about sports. So, all right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah.